Hello, you guys. So today I'm going to be going over my pictures that I took for the calendar final. Um, the reason I'm not on my Google Drive is because it is not fully uploaded into my Google Drive yet, and I want to go ahead and do this presentation. So here's the cover. And to start with the first one, also the theme for this whole calendar that I went for, I decided to go downtown and take all these photos. And downtown just reminds me a lot of my childhood. And so I took pictures of things that I remember seeing as a kid and really loved as a kid. So that's why all of these photos are the way that they are. But the first one is this fountain that is downtown. I remember throwing coins inside this fountain all the time, but here's this one. Whenever I took all of these photos, it was really cloudy and kind of rainy weather. So for this one, I edited it and I added a bit more of a yellow and green saturation and hues in there to give it a certain look. And I really liked the way that this photo turned out. The water's kind of flowing in a way and it makes it look really cool. I really like this photo. So there's that one. The next one is this sculpture that is downtown. I remember seeing this as a kid and I always loved it. I have so many pictures of me just standing next to it as a kid. But there's this one. With this one, I added saturation and I also added the green and yellow hues to make it not look so gloomy. And then the next one is the Grace Museum, which is downtown. I remember going to this museum all the time as a kid and I loved it. I still go to it every once in a while and I still love it just as much as I did whenever I was a little kid. But I decided to turn this one into a black and white picture because it just made it look older and I really liked the look of it. And so I turned it into a black and white picture. And then this next one is just some trees that are near the fountain over there downtown. And I just decided to take the picture of the trees just to add some nature photos into it instead of just buildings and fountains and stuff like that. So here's this one. I also added saturation. I added the green and yellow hues again because it was such a gloomy day. I didn't want the pictures to show just how gloomy it really was, and it was really cold this day as well whenever I took that photo. And then here is the main street downtown where we have the Paramount, we have Cypress Street restaurant. There's a bunch of things on this street, and so I decided to take a picture of it. I really like this picture. It really shows a good point of view of what you would see if you're walking down this road. Again, I added some saturation and some yellow and green hues. I think the green hues really brought out the green in the trees and it made it look really nice. So there's that one. This next one is a tunnel that goes underneath the train tracks. And I remember being so terrified to go under this tunnel underneath the train tracks. And so I decided to capture a picture of it. It's very dark, eerie tunnel. And so I decided to not add a whole bunch of color into this, although the red in the background and the green in the background are color. But I didn't add a whole bunch of editing to this photo because I wanted to show how dark this tunnel is even during the daytime. The next one is this Horton Hears a Who sculpture, and I love this. It's so cute. All the kids that I always see looking at it love it. They always take pictures with it. And I added some green and yellow hues, of course, just so it could show that it wasn't so gloomy. And I added some saturation as well, just to add some color back in there. And then the next one was just this green vine, or these green vines that are on the wall over there downtown. And I just loved how they never cut down the vines, they just leave it as it is. So I decided to capture a picture of it because I don't ever want them to cut it down, but added a little bit of nature in there. And then here is the Paramount, and I love the Paramount. Such a fun place where you can go and watch films, you can go and watch musicals. Such a fun place. So it's a very old building, and I added some saturation just to bring out the colors of the signs, and I added some yellow hues to this one for it to not be as gloomy. And then this one, this is my absolute favorite photo that I took for this whole calendar. And I love the waterfall in front of the stones. I think it's a really cool touch to this area that they designed downtown, and I love it. And I added a little bit of saturation, and instead of the green and yellow hues, I added a blue hue just because there was the water falling and I just wanted to really show that. And then here is Cypress Street Restaurant. I love this restaurant. It's a great restaurant. If you're ever in Abilene, go to it, please. It's so good. But I decided to take a picture of this, and I did it and I changed it to black and white because this restaurant just reminds me of, or makes me think about old restaurants. And so I decided to do it in black and white, and I really like the way it turned out. It makes it feel like a really old photo. And then here's my last photo, and I love this photo. Cat in the Hat. And I just added some saturation, some green and yellow hues, and I thought this one was a fun way to end it off. So yeah, there you go, you guys.